Okay, so this is the final functionality to the game that's actually going to make the game playable. Um, and so we're going to take our time here to cover this because there's a little bit more involved here. So be patient, take your time, follow along. And again, if you get lost, you can go back and replay this to see what you might have missed. Okay. So first thing you're going to notice is that our camera that we added has a new name, and that's exactly what we need to do. So we're going to click on that, and in this section here, it gives you the ability to change the name. So we're going to change the default name of the camera, and we're going to call it exactly how you see it, because this is very important. Um, the information we're adding now to areas are going to be called on by other behaviors and actions. So it's going to look for these names, either by name or number, whatever we choose. But in this case, we're calling the camera a player, and it's all capital and lowercase camera. Okay, so that has to be exactly the way you see it. And this is in the attributes properties tab. So you're going to do that. And then again, you're just going to follow along and study what it is that I have here. Okay. Um, the camera should pretty much be set up in place. And as we add more of these behaviors and actions, it will alter the camera to sit in a certain area that you will see. So we're scrolling down, and I'm looking here, and let me go ahead and turn that back on, which it should be. So now it's active, and down here, and these all have to be, so everything again you see here has to be checked. Visibility, of course, and you can click that off and on if you need to get it out of the way for viewing reasons. That's what I did earlier. So I clicked it back on, it's visible. But of course, if it's not active, it won't be activated. So it has to be active in order to be used. Otherwise, you go back to your default camera. That may happen, and you will get a whole different view, and it might throw you off. So just remember that your camera, when you have a camera in your scene, it has to be active. Okay, that being said, just go ahead and follow all the numbers and the coordinates that you see. And again, you can go back if you tend to get lost or something. There are no materials in this camera, but there are a lot of behaviors and actions. So we'll do each one slowly as you can see. So we're going to go to add behavior, and we're going to choose game actor with health, artificial intelligence player, etc. And here we're going to go down to this section, and these are all different options to choose to which would affect the and how it would affect the model, the camera, so on and so forth. And it can get kind of complex here. So for now, just follow along, and we're going to choose this is the player. Go ahead and just choose 100 for health, movements 50. This is default, 200, and nothing else. Everything else just don't touch for now. And that's going to cover that behavior. So that's going to be the first one. The next one we're going to add is FPS, Node Animation Helper. And we need all of these in order to make this thing work. So as you see here, this is all pretty much standard setup for you. What we are going to need to add is going to be this section here. Left mouse. We're going to click on that. And we're going to choose shoot. Okay. And move this out of the way here a little bit. And what we're doing now is we're setting something up in the camera here, that it's not just going to be a camera. It's going to actually be the like a first-person shooter, if you will, sort of. But it's the camera that's going to be the that'll be your actions. Okay. So the camera needs to be able to throw the ball, because that's what we're doing here. We're throwing a ball at these bottles. And that term for throwing something or projectile or whatever, bullets, they use the term shoot, because that's the mechanics behind it. Okay. So very simple to remember. But what we're going to do is now we're going to tell it how we want it and what we want to throw, shoot out of the camera. So we're going to choose over here in bullet, we're going to choose use scene node clone as bullet. And then the next one is you're going to choose, it says here, which scene node as bullet. So you're going to click on that. And you're going to select, out of all the things here, you're going to select ball. Now, ball's not in there yet for you, but I'll show you how we're going to get it. And you'll be selecting that. And this part here determines the speed of the ball that when it's thrown. You're going to choose 0.1. Damage, just choose 0, because nothing's happening to you. Let's see here. Weapon range. This out of the way. Yeah. It's going to be 40. Okay. And the next one's on impact, nothing. We're not going to have anything happen. And we'll get more into that down the road, not in this course. From which scene node is this happening? It's coming from your player camera. So you would choose that. Again, from the list. This one here. And everything else is fine. And you need to select shoot to camera target. Basically, what's in front of the camera. Okay, that needs to be. You need to check that. So we'll check that, and we're done with this behavior. The last behavior, we're going to add first-person shooter style. You're going to get that from here again. You're going to add that. And let's look at the settings here. Move speed is 0. Very important. 0. Rotation speed, 25. Jump speed, 0. Max vertical angle, 88. And everything else is off. If that's not selected, click on that, select that, disable. And that's it. That's it for the camera. However, there's more to this. So now we need to add the actual ball that's going to be thrown to the bottles. And also we need to have a crosshairs type thing, if you will. But in this case, it's going to be the representative ball that you're throwing. And you'll see how all this comes together. It's pretty cool, pretty fun. And this can be used later down the road for other game design as you continue to move along here in your growth. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and add these two objects, which are part of the Coppercube engine, and they're going to be in the create section. And these are very, very handy, very cool, and there's a lot of things you can do with these. They're called billboards, and you'll find them right here. This is their icon here. Create a billboard. So we'll click on that. They're going to end up coming down below your camera when you add them. So you're going to add two right here. 1, 2. They'll be down there. And I believe they say billboard. So they will be blank. And what you're going to do, so that way we can just go ahead and set that up now, you're going to drag the billboards literally into that camera. They're going to drop in, right? And then you're going to get the second one and you're going to drop it in and it's going to fall in there. And then you're going to rename them. The first one's going to be Cross X, just like that. And you can change the name again from the attributes right in there. And we'll go ahead and look at the attributes now. And don't worry about the position yet, rotation or scale. It has to be visible. Definitely set the width to 2, height to 2. You're not going to check occludes light or the vertical, okay? Those will be unchecked. And this is the cross X, okay? We're in cross X right now. Now we're going to move over to behavior. And we're going to add, when a key is pressed, do something, right? And down here, we got 3 areas to cover. We're going to choose left mouse button, okay? And it's going to be down, key pressed. And we're going to add 2 actions. First one is hide or unhide a scene node. And we're going to come over here. These will be blank. And we're going to choose make invisible, which scene node to change. And we're going to select, we're going to look for it, and we're going to select cross X. Okay, that's that. And then you're going to add one more action, and it's going to be do something later. You're going to put the time of 1000, and the action is going to be what to do. Again, you're going to come here and you're going to add hide or unhide a scene node. But in this case, we're going to make it visible. Well, first time was invisible, now it's visible. And we're going to bring it back because it disappeared. Okay, and it's the crosshairs. We want that back. And you'll see how that works in gameplay. It's pretty cool. Choose that. So now we've added functionality to that crosshairs billboard we've just added to the camera. Okay, this is all part of the camera system here, which is your player. So as you start to take all this in, this is really a lot of power here that we're putting together, okay? And it can be used for other games that you'll be creating down the road as well. So the next one we're going to do, let's go back to attributes. This is the ball, okay? And we're going to look at all of this, and we're going to change that information. Now we're going to do, the other one was 2, 2. This is going to be 3, 3, and unchecked here. Again, anytime you get lost and it gets overwhelming, you can go back slowly and re-listen and watch what's happening, okay? All right, so now we're still in ball. We're at the ball billboard. And we're going to add collide when moved. And these are the coordinates numbers that we need to add. Everything you see here is exactly. And this is for the ball. Now, The last thing we're going to do here is we're going to add a material. We need to see what the ball looks like. And that's going to be that image there. And it will be in your student downloads assets folder. And you'll click on that. You'll add that. It's going to be a PNG. So it's going to be alpha channel, which means transparent, basically. And that's going to be the same. For cross X, you're going to add the same image, same information, transparent. So what I want to show you here briefly is how you set the cross X and the ball as part of the camera. And I didn't cover that, so I want to go ahead and cover that with you now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a top view, and we're going to look for cross X, and it may be somewhere out there, depending on how it was set when it came in. What we want to do is we want to make sure it's exactly in position where it is here. And this will make a big difference on how it shows up when you play the game. So we want to get this right. So I'm going to zoom in here. I'm using my left right mouse to zoom in. And how you find where it's going to pretty much, sit perfectly when you start the game up is you're going to follow the line which is between the camera and the target. And that was already set up when we set up the camera initially. And you're going to see this line here, this straight line here. So all you want to do is you want to move your ball and kind of get close to, doesn't have to be too precise. Again, it's not about being precise. We're learning for the first time here. This is a beginner's course, and so I don't want you to feel too pressured about getting everything precise. So again, as long as it's kind of lined up there with that, you'll see exactly what I mean. We're going to look at a different view here. And let's go back to, that's where we're looking. Okay, so you see the camera there. I'm going to zoom in again. And you see right about where the camera is and where the ball is going to appear, which is going to be your crosshairs, basically, okay? Let's go to the left. And you're going to see how it lines up there with this line, remember? Yeah, right there. And, you can see pretty much where it is in the room, in the scene. Okay? Want to make sure you get what I'm talking about there. Okay, so that is the crosshairs image that you'll see of the ball. Okay, the next one is the actual ball that's going to be thrown, because there's two parts to this. So the ball that's going to come out from behind the camera, like you're throwing it from your shoulder, but it's really coming from the camera, straight from the camera. We're going to go to the top. And this is the ball. And it's going to be positioned outside of the room, right behind the camera. And that's the top view. Go for the front view. That's right in here. go for the left. This is a better representation. So the ball again is outside of the building, out of the room. This is the crosshairs. That'll be visible all the time. This ball, let's see here, we have it set to non-visible, and it could sound kind of complex, but what ends up happening is this is like stored on the outside that we don't see, but when it's called on, it appears, and it's going to come right through the camera. And what's cool about this, this is my design, my technique. What's going to end up happening is the ball, once you throw it, will disappear for a short period of seconds, and the ball will go flying and hit the bottle, and then the ball will reappear for the next throw, and you'll see how that works. So again, for the ball, it's going to be on the outside. It's not going to be visible, and we've already covered the programming, the code, and the behaviors and whatnot for that. And this right here, you could see the representation of the ball, which is behind the camera, because that's where we're at right now. But when we play the game, everything again sets up differently because of the positioning and the behaviors and whatnot that we've added to the camera, the player, and it changes the view. And it's quite incredible how it all comes together. But slowly but surely you'll pick up on it, and it's pretty exciting. And I know you're going to have a great time with this. And the best part is you put this all together, and you should be very, very proud of yourself that you are now in the steps of learning to become a game designer. And kudos to you. Congratulations. And I hope to see you in other future courses. Thank you so much, and enjoy this game. And so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to create an executable. That's what .exe stands for, executable, Windows executable, which are all the programs and software that you see and buy for your PC. We're literally creating a game, a PC game software, and all this code and all these behaviors and functionality, actions and images and whatnot are all going into that executable. And it's quite impressive what you're going to end up with here. And so let's go ahead, without further ado, go ahead and go to Publish. And let's go ahead and click on this. And let's see what this Bottle Toss 3D game is all about.